and relieves snoring, migraines, sleep apnea, fibromyalgia, and many other disorders. It's antimicrobial, non-allergenic, dust mite resistant, and best of all, machine washable and dryable. MyPillow is made in the USA, has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau, comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee and an industry-leading 10-year warranty. Order today at mypillow.com or call 952-442-6199. That's 952-442-6199. Mention coupon code GCN and receive 20% off your order. What do you have to lose except poor sleep? MyPillow.com, the most comfortable pillow you will ever own, guaranteed.
The largest part of gaining radiant health is detoxification. You can drink ionized water, cleanse your intestines, eat a perfect diet, and even take lots of quality supplements and in many instances only make minimal progress. What is the key to detoxifying your body of mercury, heavy metals, chemicals, and drugs? It is glutathione. Glutathione is the master antioxidant used to detoxify your entire body. It stops free radicals, keeps cells young, and reduces inflammation. One World Whey protein powder may be able to raise your glutathione production by 64% or more. One World Whey is more effective than any other whey protein powder on the market because it is unheated and from grass-fed cows. All other, quote, cold processed whey protein powders have been heated and damaged by 15% or more. One World Whey comes in 3 delicious flavors. Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld.com.
Only way to really stop their imagined disaster to save the planet is to limit the number of human beings on this planet. 1 child per family, that's negative population growth. I'm against it, and I think I'm not alone.
And then weeks later, he covers it word for word. But then he always doubles back with spin and deception. Glenn Beck is like orange juice. It's nutritious. It's delicious. But I didn't tell you the rest of what Glenn Beck is. He's a teaspoon of cyanide, enough to kill 10 elephants in every pitcher. And that's it. That's what's so bad about him. You see the orange juice, it's sitting on the counter, you pour it in your glass. Hey, Google's NSA. Hey, Google's overthrowing countries to put radical Muslims in. He doesn't tell you, so the military-industrial complex has somebody to basically bomb. He gets your confidence with the truth with that glass of orange juice, and he puts a teaspoon of poison in it. It's unbelievable. The guy's a complete snake. When you watch it, it's such 21st century high-tech propaganda, clearly with psych warfare chiefs, with PSYOP degrees, black ops, loading those teleprompters. It is so evil. I don't like my identity being stolen. And then I don't like somebody in my name, in my mission, twisting what I've done. I end up having mainstream media attack me constantly saying I'm the little Glenn Beck. No, I'm not the little Glenn Beck. I'm up towards the fount. I'm up the river where the water came from, not downstream where Glenn Beck is basically urinating into the truth. Let's get that straight. Do you know what it's like to pour your heart and soul out, to be death-threatened, to be physically attacked, to not go along with the payoff sellout offers, and then to feel good and to have integrity, and then to see somebody come along and basically as an actor rip off the information you're covering and then adulterate it? We're in a fight for the heart and soul of this country. The Tea Party, started by the Ron Paul movement in 2007, has been partially co-opted by the neocons. The Tea Party coalition in Congress went ahead and voted for the Patriot Act. We were sent by law enforcement 2 years ago, the internal government documents, MIAC, Homeland Security, where it has nothing to do with men in caves. It's all about the American people, gun owners, libertarians, conservatives. If the people don't get wise to Glenn Beck, we don't have any future. I mean, it's really just that simple. But the fact that he has to mimic us and take on our political colorations as camouflage does show how far we've come. We have a global government run by private banking cartels that's taken over our nation. And Glenn, we cannot allow you to blame it all on a mid-level nobody like Van Jones and tell us he's the top of the pyramid. Glenn, I'll really start to believe in you when you do a show on Rupert Murdoch, admittedly being one of the key people behind the move for global carbon taxes to fund this new private world government. And I want to tell the globalists something. You think Glenn Beck's co-opted my message and my information? No. This door swings both ways. This is a two-way street, a double-edged sword. We're only getting more viewers and more listeners because of Glenn Beck. People are using him as a doorway, and then they're finding the real bona fide information. So in the end, it's like God says in the Bible, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. You give us lemons, we're going to make lemonade. It's just that I get more angry at Beck than like an evil Mr. Maddow or Slimeball on MSNBC, because they are willing, open servants of evil. And you're over here posing so you can basically fill the chair of the liberty movement so that you can basically co-opt us in the end. But then I think back to Mr. Maddow, and I think back to even the Keith Olbermann. Back when Bush was in office, they'd talk about Patriot Act and torture and evil and corruption. And now they don't really do it because they were playing the part of anti-establishment when Bush was in. Now that they see their wing as being in power of the same bird of prey, they're playing the part of the establishment. But I know you guys think you can spin it later and you only care about this cycle and the next election coming up, and they'll have a new flim-flam man by then. But cycles are getting...
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
No warning signs that I'm aware of.
And it was a revelation that the White House had no intention of making public.
President Bush was told in August that Osama bin Laden might be planning an attack involving the hijacking.
Could have predicted.
Nobody in our government, at least.
August 6th, PDP.
I believe the title was Bin Laden Determined to Attack Inside the United States.
70% of family members' questions were never answered during the 9/11 Commission report.
Lee Hamilton and Thomas Keane said they were set up to fail.
I mean, I'm a member of the commission. It's a scam. It's absolutely disgusting.
The questions, Mr. President. The questions.
Building 7 ablaze at the moment and apparently getting ready to collapse.
Building 7, free-fall collapse.
Well, no, there's number 7 coming down. The excitement and the fun that people get watching an old building being demolished, and they wired very carefully for days, and it's a very careful operation.
Third time today. It's reminiscent of those pictures we've all seen too much on television before, when a building was deliberately destroyed by well-placed dynamite to knock it down.
The smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
Well, only really what you already know. Details are very, very sketchy.
You're getting information now that one of the other buildings, Building 7 in the World Trade Center complex, is on fire and has either collapsed or is collapsing.
The Pentagon. Vanishing airplane.
My close-up inspection, there's no evidence of a plane having crashed anywhere near the Pentagon. The only site is the actual site of the building that's crashed in. And as I said, the only pieces left that you can see are small enough that you could pick up in your hand. There are no large tail sections, wing sections, a fuselage, nothing like that anywhere around, which would indicate that the entire plane crashed into the side of the Pentagon.
Firefighters and police describing explosions. A lot of them.
This is a secondary explosion. We've got numerous people covered with dust from the secondary explosion.
Floor by floor instead of popping out.
It was like, it was if they had detonated.
Yeah,
if they were planned to take down a building. Boom, 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 boom.
Looks sort of like the building just demolished.
Even if there was no secondary explosives in the building.
Kind of like gunfire. You know, bang, 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 bang. And then all of a sudden, 3 big explosions.
Do you know if it was an explosion or if it was a building collapse?
To me, it sounded like an explosion.
Chief Albert Turry told me that he tried to get his men out as quickly as he could, but he said that there was another explosion which took place, and then an hour after there was another explosion in one of the towers here.
Sibel Edmonds, FBI translator, breaking her gag order.
All our intimate relationship with bin Laden and Taliban, we did carry very intimate relationship with these people all the way up to September 11.
Bin Laden was spirited into this military hospital in Rawalpindi for kidney dialysis treatment. The military had him surrounded. They were saying that Osama bin Laden had to be watched carefully and looked after.
NORAD standing down. Where were the planes?
On now to one of the eeriest moments amid the carnage of 9/11. A mysterious plane was seen flying right over the president's residence.
The E-4Bs over New York and Washington, otherwise known as the Doomsday Planes.
It has never been officially explained.
Cell phones working at impossible altitudes. Solicitor General Ted Olson receiving phone calls that the FBI says were never made.
What happened during that call? This is the only information we have on these terrorists.
She was able to call him twice. How she could pull that off, we don't know, but she did.
These are the questions, Mr. President. These are the questions. They go on and on.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I come to you today representing the families of the victims of September 11th, as well as millions of my fellow Americans. Hopefully by now you've had a chance to read my letter to you, 20 Minutes with the President, and if not, at least had its contents brought to your attention. We have questions, Mr. President. Lots of questions. A lot of them are detailed in my letter, but trust me, there are hundreds more questions.
Alex told you the government announced recently that the recession is over. It ended on June of 2009. The millions of Americans unable to find work might not agree. Perhaps the recession ended for the bankers and government employees, but for the rest of us, things seem to be getting worse. Gold and silver haven't heard the news either. They've begun their long-expected journey to the moon. In addition to converting your shrinking dollars into gold and silver, you should consider a food savings account from eFoods Direct. They both make fabulous investments. Food is our greatest dependency, and we know it will be more precious than any financial resource. You and your family need food to survive a crisis, and you can't eat paper, stocks, or metals. Alex has been urging you to invest in delicious, easy-fix meals to enjoy now or save for long-term. This will freeze the cost of your food while you can still afford it. Visit efoodsdirect.com on the internet or call 800-409-5633. That's efoodsdirect.com or 800-409-5633.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide.